Hi everybody, today is Thursday, July 30th. This is Yoni Zofan again, back to give hopefully a different and interesting perspective on our video market commentary. Usually we talk about some of the dynamics that are interacting with the market, but natural gas, electric, energy prices in general for causing prices to go up and down. Today I thought we'd focus on the next big thing, the major X factor impacting the market over the next foreseeable future, including the next couple of years. And specifically, I'm talking about liquefied natural gas, or LNG, as it is affectionately referred to. LNG has been around for a long time, and it's been impacting the market for a long time, but in very different ways. Multiple years ago, prior to the onshore shale production, we were thinking that the U.S. would be extremely dependent on LNG production. As such, we were building terminals to process LNG and bring it aboard. We were importing LNG. Then shale production comes and natural gas becomes abundant here in the US. And all of a sudden we switch from a potential importer of LNG to an exporter of LNG. And building these terminals aren't cheap. And then reconfiguring them to be exporting as opposed to importing terminals is not cheap. So we've invested billions on billions of dollars in LNG terminals and reconfiguring LNG terminals to be exporters. And now here we are, and we're at a crossroads where we don't know if we're importers or exporters. The future is very uncertain, and that's what makes it the X factor. I want to show everyone a graph which looks at LNG prices over the past 2 years. We'll take a quick second to acclimate to it. It looks at the past 2 years at 3 different markets. The yellow line is pretty simple. That's US prices. That's Henry Hub, and it includes the transportation cost to get the LNG over to other markets throughout the world. The blue line, TTF, represents the price in the Netherlands. Let's call that Europe. And the purplish line represents JKM, Japan and Korea. We'll call that Asia. As you can see, about 2 years ago, prices were dramatically higher in Europe and Asia, which meant exporting made a ton of sense. Because even with our costs to export, it still is extremely cost sensitive to use the US LNG. Well, look what has happened over the next year and a half. While Asia prices and Europe prices dropped, US prices held very steady. What that meant is that Asia and Europe may no longer want to buy US natural LNG. It's no longer price sensitive, price reasonable. So we have this situation now where, are we an exporter or are we an importer? We don't know. As we evaluate LNG, this is something that is a major impactor, right? Is LNG going to weigh in on supply, or is it going to weigh in on demand? We don't know the answer. It'll be interesting to watch, but it is the major X factor that everybody is watching in the marketplace. Whether or not it contributes to be a supply factor or a demand factor is going to be critical towards its impact on price going forward. Hope everyone has a good August.